this is why I think that even though markets are fully pricing in a hike in July, economic data could weaken significantly by then, and we are already seeing some signs of that. So Greenspan's favorite indicators are rail car loadings and box shipments, and both of them plunged recently.
All right, we'll be on the lookout for that. Anna Wong, thank you so much. Chief U.S. economist for Bloomberg Economics. Coming up, we'll focus on the political implications of the Trump indictment. That next on Bloomberg.
This is Balance of Power on Bloomberg TV. Thanks for joining us. We get more perspective on the second indictment of former President Donald Trump now and how it could affect the race for the Republican presidential nomination and the future of the party, for that matter. In a conversation with Kyle Kondik, managing editor of Sabato's Crystal Ball at the University of Virginia Center for Politics. Kyle, it's great to see you here. So Donald Trump is raising money. We know that. His polls are soaring, and they're certainly not feeling the impact of this indictment in a negative way. Knowing the historic nature of these circumstances and the reaction that we're seeing by Donald Trump's supporters and Republicans here in Washington, should every candidate running for the nomination try to get indicted?
I mean, I don't know if I'd recommend that, but it just continues to be crazy, to be in a situation where you have a lot of people running in this competitive race for, Republican presidential nomination. The nomination is worth having, by the way. 2024 looks like it should be another close election almost regardless. and yet the leading person gets indicted, and there's not some sort of outcry against him amongst other Republicans. It just shows how strong Trump still is within the party, but also not just Trump being strong, but Trump's specific arguments about talking about a politicized Justice Department and those sorts of things. The other Republicans find themselves kind of forced to agree with him on that, and maybe they do agree with him to some degree, but again, you'd think in a different sort of situation, there would be avenues of attack for these Republicans to use against Trump, and for the most part, they're not taking them. Not everyone is taking that tack, but at least the leading contenders seem to be soft pedaling any criticism of Trump if they're making it at all.
To Joe's point, obviously, when you look at the latest we have, this CBS News poll, it's quite fascinating in terms of primary voters in the Republican Party. One factoid off that poll is if convicted over classified documents, Trump should, 80% say be elected to be president. Can any other candidates break in while he was facing these legal troubles? Or is this just going to help him, even though there's more than 500 days away from next year's election?
So, one other thing from that poll that maybe offers a little more hope for the other Republican candidates is that the pollster asked, are you just going to support Trump? Are you considering Trump and other people? Or are you just considering other people? And the breakdown was basically like 25% were Trump only, 25% were Trump, no Trump at all, and then a big middle portion, about 50%, saying they'd consider both Trump and other candidates. And I guess the hope for other Republicans would be that as the sort of problems for Trump mounts and starts to come into question as to whether he can actually win a general election, that sort of thing, that over time his support starts to recede. Now, again, maybe that's just wishful thinking, and you think Republican candidates would be maybe taking more active steps to try to make that happen. But I think they've also seen that, when Republicans criticize Donald Trump, usually those Republicans lose support within their own party. So it's a strange situation, but it may be that because of name ID, because he's the most recent Republican president, maybe Trump's support is a little bit inflated, and maybe it'll sort of the air will slowly go out of the balloon over the course of 2023. I'm not necessarily expecting that to happen, but if you're trying to think, if you're Republican, like what's the way I can get in here and really challenge Trump, maybe something like that would happen. But again, I feel like a lot of the Republicans are more like passive observers on that as opposed to active participants.
I was really taken by that number as well, 80%, even if convicted. So in that case then, Kyle, do you see nominee Donald Trump a second nomination in Sabato's crystal ball?
I mean, look, I don't think it's some sort of slam dunk or something, but I mean, he's clearly the leading candidate, and I think is still a favorite to win the nomination. I mean, we did say like Nikki Haley came out a little bit more against Trump. I think that there was the initial Trump basically reported the fact that he was being indicted, and then the actual indictment came out a day later, Friday, and some of the details in there are pretty damning. Now, granted, I wouldn't necessarily assume he could be convicted on this, and that of course would take a long time as well. But yeah, I mean, it's not like he's we've got a little bit of information since he's been indicted. It's not like he's taken some sort of huge plunge or something. Also, interestingly, Ron DeSantis has now been formally a candidate for a couple of weeks. It's not like he's getting some sort of huge surge from his announcements. And, DeSantis has been the leading rival to Trump and the rival that Trump himself was most focused on attacking. I was sort of wondering if DeSantis will get some sort of significant bump. I don't necessarily think that that's happened. And, Trump's support is as strong as it's been in recent months.
What do you make of the mixed responses we've seen from the other nominees who want the 2024 nomination to be the Republican candidate? You have some who are saying they would pardon the former president, others saying he should step aside and just focus on his legal troubles, and then others saying that there's a weaponization of the Justice Department and pointing the finger at the White House.
Yeah, it seems like the people who have the least chance of winning the nomination, some of them are the ones who have been the strongest critics of of Trump here, like Asa Hutchinson and Chris Christie. Then you have people who probably poll higher and have a better chance of winning, like DeSantis, who isn't necessarily saying, oh yeah, Donald Trump is innocent of everything, but he's sort of using Trumpian language and Trumpian themes and talking about the politicization of the Justice Department and this investigation, and kind of doing the whataboutism thing with talking about Clinton and Biden and Pence, and we can get into the fact that I think these are different situations. Also, this seems to be a problem mostly of Trump's making, in that it wasn't necessarily that he had classified documents; instead he refused to give them back when the authorities asked for them again. And some of the stuff sounds like it was pretty serious. So, again, sort of a difference of opinions here, but again, you're not